Right. Hello. So, I'm about to start writing my book. Now, before you go, have you not written anything yet? No, I've written bits. I've written chunks of the stuff I remember from the tour, and I've rewritten some of my show notes because this book is based initially on my solo show and all the years leading up to it and my life and stuff like that. So there are bits and bobs, but it's all kind of threadbare. But what I wanted to do today and make this video so I'm accountable is start it. I'm going to try my best to do little video blogs to make me accountable, to keep me on check and get through it, because it's a bit scary, this. Although I did start out after university writing for a bunch of video games magazines, it was very journalistic and I wasn't particularly good at it back then. Potentially not now. But yeah, I have always been a radio person. Sounds. I like talking and just letting it happen. It's kind of how my solo show was built, and I kind of bullet points. So as a result, it's been a while since I've sat down and written anything. Maybe not since I was at university. I don't know. That's scary. No, that's not true. I did some magazines a couple of years ago, like Geeky Monkey magazine. Did a Ghostbusters article for them. Anyway, it's a hard discipline for me, and I need to be held accountable. I'm mentioning that a lot. So I thought I'd make a video, and at the same time bring you up to date with a few things. So here's how it stands. Thank you all for getting me past the target. So now I have to do it. Thank you. Anyway, there's a few problems. One is, well before I even went ahead and started doing this as a project through Unbound, I was moving between Southampton to Cambridge, and then a few years later Cambridge to London, and basically most of my stuff is still in storage up north. And that's got most of my notes in from the show, and it's certainly got all my Ghostbusters notes, and it's definitely got all of the I had a tour when I did Psychic and Science, which is the tour I do within the story, which is 8 years ago now. I had a little tour diary. Basically, I'd write down things I remembered from each particular show, and I'd like that because there were bits in that didn't make the solo show, and I just sat on for a while, like the priest who came in to exercise the show. Don't believe I ever mentioned that. Might have done an early video, early edition of the solo show. So I want to get that, but obviously there's a lockdown and things and such. So that's a bit terrifying, thinking that my notes are up there. And then secondly, not a big part, that's not true, but a nice chunk of the book towards the end would have been my thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife, the fourth Ghostbusters movie that was meant to be out July 2020, and then it was meant to be out July 2021, and now it's November. And I'd love to have been able to see the film, and I don't know what my deadline's going to be like, whether everyone doesn't mind me holding back until I've seen it before I can finish the book, because part of me is like, yeah, I can write the book without it, but I don't want me to guess what the film's about or base my opinions on it based on what I've seen so far, which is not particularly fair. One trailer and a bit don't count. I'd like to watch it before I write the book, or certainly before I finish the book. So that's a quandary about whether I could hold back for long enough to see the film. So I don't know, it's a tricky one. I've asked people who could help, and unfortunately the film is under lock and key, which is a bit stressful. Because I know people have seen it, I know it's locked down, and I get it, I don't have any special privileges, I don't deserve to see it, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? Otherwise, my Ghostbusters book with all my thoughts on all Ghostbusters stuff up until a recent date will actually be out of date by the time it's published. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to have to bring out another copy a year later with an extra chapter slapped on, because I'd like to feed it through what I am writing about. So that's it. So, with all that said, how am I starting? Well, I thought, like Ghostbusters, it'd be nice to do a kind of pre-title sequence chapter. And what do they call it? In media res, when the action is just happening. So there's a bit, and if you've seen my solo show, then there aren't many surprises. All the book will allow me to do is go into a lot more detail about the things that did happen. Because obviously when you're doing an hour show, lots of it gets cut out and lots of it gets sanded down and shaved, and I don't know what you want to call it. But like the finesse, the detail isn't there. I could put all that back in. A lot of stuff I had to cut out of the solo show I could put back in, talk more about the documentary, cleaning up the town, talk more about ghost heads and that whole thing. All that stuff. I need to make a note of ghost heads. I do want to talk about that. It's not going to be particularly flattering, but we'll move on. Anyway, so I thought for the first chapter of the book, I would start with a ghost story. And it's one of the things that happened to me whilst I was doing the ghost hunts. And if you know what happened to me at Hellfire Caves, then you know how it's all going to start. But I thought if I start there and write a nice little ghost story at the beginning, then I can come back to it later in the book and recontextualize it in terms of how it not really happened, but kind of what happened before and after, which makes a bit more sense of what happened at the beginning. So that's the plan. That's what I'm about to do now. And this is my video to at least, if nothing else, convince me that I need to do this. So by the time you see this video, hopefully I'm a little more ahead than just the first chapter. Because where I am right now, I'm under lockdown. I've got poor internet. So to upload anything, videos, streaming, it's almost impossible. So that's why I can't do live streams and stuff like that, because this would be a horrible Viewmaster style slideshow. Excuses all the time, right? This is just nothing but excuses. Ow, why did I do that muscle movement? Anyway, here we go. So thank you. Maybe I'll do a Twitch thing where I'll Twitch stream every now and then and you can just watch me write for a bit. I've heard that's good and it can inspire other people to write at the same time. Maybe that's something we can do together. Leave your comments down below wherever I post this video, because I'm not sure where this is going yet, but it is going up somewhere. So, okay. Right. What day is it? It's the 2nd of February, Tuesday, 2021, and I'm about to start writing. Oh, God.